All right, guys. Jeff J. Cunningham. We are doing relationship advice right now. So, listen, your story and offer. I just got off a call with this person here. We're announcing tomorrow at 4 with what's her name? What's up? So, ask your relationship questions before. We're going to have a relationship expert in here. I know nothing about, well, I know about relationships. So, hey, I want to bring you on. Ask about relationships. So, I actually am going to tease a story. I have this girl coming in who changed my life. And the reason why I'm in Miami is a lot because behind every great man, there's a woman. This woman really helped my business Empower Her Money. Multimillionaire Angela of Empower Her Money podcast. Okay, so hit win. What up? There she is. All right, let's bring her on here. Soraya, what's up? Hey guys, share this out and we'll go into relationship advice. And I'll go to my YouTube video. I'll tease some stuff here. So let's see if she's in here. So ask. Oh, she's requesting. No, she's not. Let's see. I can get her in here. She's coming in here. There she is.
Good morning.
Hello, hello. Good morning. So really quick, let's do this. Who the heck are you and what do you do? And go ahead, tell your story. Have you been practicing it?
Hey, well, have you ever felt like the everything that you have worked for, your dreams, your desires, your whatever you work for is about to be pulled away from you? It is going to be taken away from you. Well, that's exactly how I felt at one point in my life. Hello, everybody. I was in a place in my marriage where things were just not good, and I remember just being so distraught, so feeling so lost, that I decided through that nobody should really go through this when there's tools available. So I've dedicated my life to help couples, to help individuals. I help couples on the brink of divorce turn their relationship around in 3 days, love each other again in 3 days. I teach people how to design a life they love. And so I'm committed to working with entrepreneurs and helping you accomplish your mission and love your life. An amazing life doesn't happen by default. It happens by design, and that's what I do. I'll help you design a life and relationship that you love.
Very awesome. I love it. So literally tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, this event is sponsored by Empower Her Money podcast. You're not listening to it. The number one leading podcast for women now on Spotify is Angela of Empower Her Money. She's doing her second event, but first women's event. It's like a workshop tomorrow. So we're going to give away 2 tickets. You might be, did you enter? You entered, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to pull them out tomorrow. We're going to do it on Instagram Live by the pool tomorrow. Hopefully it's sunny out here. All right. So really quick, I want to do a decent job with your story. I was sharing this out when you were saying it. Okay. So very good, but you came off a little, what's the word? It was good. It was just reading. It's got to come more natural, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Let's do that. And let's talk about relationships too.
We'll do that at an end. So, and I just said, so listen, you literally have a God-given gift. I saw all your testimonies today, as you said to me, of really helping people, really through divorce. My biggest fear is getting divorced. Actually, to make it more real, I'm going to show you a YouTube video of a girl who's going to be visiting here. I showed you last time the Latina girl on my credit card. Remember? So there's right now, I am scared to death to get in a relationship. Okay, I was at an event with, do you know Patrick Ben David? All right, he owns the PBD podcast. Very, very popular guy. And he said this is how it goes. Business, which I just mastered it. Okay, is the hardest. The second is kids. The first is marriage. And I'm like, holy cow! I barely keeping these businesses alive, right? With everything, right? So because I have such a heart. So what's the one thing? Let me ask you this: that why are most people scared to get in a relationship?
Why are most people scared of getting in relationships?
Or they
Well,
have their
but
guard up.
why would they have their guard up? I'll tell you why. Because the number one need emotionally, we have physical needs, we have emotional needs, right? Our number one need is to feel safe, and our biggest desire is to feel loved. But then the contrary is our biggest fear. What's our biggest fear? Our biggest fear is to not be accepted, to be rejected. So when you think about it and you say, okay, why do I have my guard up? Why do I feel like this? Is because I am afraid of being rejected, of being not accepted, of feeling abandoned, that somebody will leave because of whatever, right? Because we either have problems or walk away, or they will see my real you and won't like me and won't accept me and walk away. So, or they will do something and they're going to hurt me. So if safety and the desire to be loved are ruling our life, then of course that's what we're afraid of not having that safety. So our defense mechanism comes in, and then we start getting guarded. We push people away. We don't let people in. We are not vulnerable.
Well, so let's do this. Let's bring in one of the people that I let into my life. She's another Latina. It's triple threat Steph. I'm going to see if I can bring her in to ask a question really quick, because what I want to do is more collaboration with this. I want more people to know you. So that's so true. So 100%. When you thought about that, oh, she can't come in. But when you thought about that, so someone put on an event, right? If nobody shows up, it's like, oh my God. I think that's like the craziest thing to do, right? You put on an event, nobody shows up. Okay. So, like just recently, I'll tell you a story. I was in Miami. I actually have the thing of vowing to be the richest man in the world, because I believe there's three things that happen in life to men or to anybody. Okay, one time for any great entrepreneur, and this comes from my mentor. We've all experienced a point of unconditional love when someone loved us no matter what. Okay, and it makes us believe, right? The second thing is that that we've just experienced part of heartbreak, right? Something of when we did everything to save something and it didn't work, okay? And that's right. And the third thing is that we've always had to, and no matter what you are, you have to choose your enemies wisely, right? So you have to choose an enemy of where you're going. That could be the next girl that I build my empire with, the next woman, or whatever it is, right? Because, women control us. Men wouldn't be here without women. I believe women do own the world a lot. Okay, that's why I'm big on women empowerment in the right roles, right? Not feminism crazy, but like that women are we wouldn't be here without it. So what's the let me ask you this. Why? Well, I'll ask in a story form. There was a girl. She took me out to coffee shops. I'm able to put it later on, all around her. You want to build a coffee shop and honor your brother who passed? Let's go to Miami coffee shops. Okay, cool. I work all the time. I agree. We go to coffee shops. I'm paying for them. Kind of like dates to me. Well, whatever. We're friends, right? Help me with my ebook. Sure, I'll help you, right? Et cetera, et cetera. My buddy, she's playing me. No, she's not playing me, right? I don't care. I have a good time hanging out with her, right? So it's my life. This is how I do it. Fast forward, place gets black mold. I live with her for a month. I pay room for a ramp with her. We live. I get domesticated. I put my guard up. It's okay. Go date the other guy. The guy's in your business. Go date him. I don't want to. I'm here. I need a place to stay, right? Because I'm scared. Right now, in my relationship with the thing, scared, right? Putting it out. Finally think, hey, could she be the one? This, that. She looks at my business. She's a Virgo. I'm a Gemini. Whatever you want to say. She calms everything. All of a sudden, I'm like, wow, she might be the one. This is it. Fast forward. We're in a point
Yes.
where there's a time. You know what timeshares are? So timeshare. It got really real. My buddy who's in Medellin, Colombia. I'm going out there for AI consulting to do an AI consulting gig. She's like, "You're gonna leave? Go get a Colombian wife." I'm like, "No, I'm going there for business. Don't leave. Don't go to Colombia. I don't want to Colombia. I gotta go. My friend's there, right?" So I'm like, my buddy's like, "Yo, you're gonna stay with that girl. You're not that." So then I'm like, there's a point when we get a call. I show that I'm really good at sales. I repitch. I'm showing off to her because she did solar sales. I repitch. I repitch a guy to be my inner circle. She gets all impressed. It was a timeshare. We wind up buying the yacht. She's like, "You'll go with me?" We'll go. I said, "Let's go." So now I feel like I have a girlfriend. I buy the whole thing. I finally let myself down. I get sick, like physically sick that day. I text her. She goes, oh, do you need me to bring anything? Blah, blah, like really taking care of me. And I said, no, I'm okay. I'm like, wow, maybe I won't go to Colombia. You know, this whole thing. I'm thinking, hey, this is it. There's a lot of reservations. It's all calculated risk. Is she the one? All right, I'm going to go with it, right? Long story short, that night she doesn't come home. She wants to date another guy. I finally put myself out there to a point. Goes to argument. I love you. You tell me this now. Boom. It's like The Notebook, right? I go to Colombia. She texts me. She misses me. A few months later, guy buys her everything in the world. She's driven by status, all that. Givenchy, whatever, the brand names. She's got everything. Lambo Urus. That's so cool. I vow, actually at the time when I was losing my mind when she was with the other guy, I vowed that I'd be the richest man in the world because the girl I love, that a guy can buy her anything, and I can't. And I believe that moment in life, whether or not I'm supposed to be or I'm over that girl, I believe that moment happened for me 100% to go be the richest man in the world. And I mean that. And so, and you do it by helping people. However, I let my guard down, got my heart broken. Any girl I go on a date with says, you're not over that girl, don't talk about it. 100% I'm not. I'm being honest. You want me to hide it all for you and get us all in trouble? No. So that's where I'm at then. To preface that story, I don't want to date again. I'm cool with it. Cool. Can we go salsa dancing? Sure. Let's have fun. I'm not about having fun. But dating right now, for me, or being in a relationship, scares the living hell out of me, you know?
Yes. So
that was a Patrick Ben David type question. So the question, I think I lost it. Let me go outside. We'll see if she comes back. But I lose her and she loses me. Success is the best revenge. Yeah, so I like that, man. I like the comments in here. Let me take Soraya out, and we'll bring her back in. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi or not, but we're probably gonna move this over to Zoom eventually. Let's do this here. You tell girls about your past girl. It's a way of letting girls know you're not emotionally available. Yeah, I think that's the plan. They get mad about it. I'm like, no, it's okay.
I'm back. I don't know what happened, but I'm back. Okay. So.
All right. So someone said this. If you tell girls about your past girl, it's a way of letting other girls know you're not emotionally available. That's true,
If you
right?
ask me, there's two ways that we can go about it, right? It's just the default way. The default way is how most people do relationships. Hey, let's just get together. There's the attraction. There's chemistry. I like you. I kind of like you. Well, let's see where this goes, right? That's the default way. But then we don't set foundations. I go the design way. The design way is I want to build a life by design, right? The universe, they just didn't happen to explode into perfection. It was by design. So if we do relationships like that, we end up all hurting, we end up messing up, we end up not in a good place. I go the route of the design. So if you're going to go the way of the design is, I want to start things from the foundation. So I'm looking for somebody that is growth minded. You need to, if you want a relationship to work, then you want somebody that will align with that. Because if I just think that I'm all good, and we all have things that we need to work on. We all have things that we carry from the past unless you've dealt with them, right? But if I'm going to go the way of, I want to build this a long-term that is enjoyable, that is juicy, that is what I create, a program that I created that is called oneness, right? That you want to be with that person, then you need to set foundations. And what are those foundations is being open, but you need to have the right person. Just like you're looking for your right client, not every girl is going to be your right person, because there's people that are not really into, hey, let's make this long lasting and bulletproof versus let's just make this a fling. So to answer your question with that preface is, if you're looking for an enjoying long-lasting relationship, yes, you want to look for somebody that will value the fact that you're opening up and you're saying, hey, this is where I am. And it may not in the first date, but it's like getting to know you, right? Because you don't go on the first date from, hey, my name is Jeff, I want to marry you, right? They're going to run away. But this is a process of getting to know somebody, of liking you, of trusting you, and then you come into this conversation. So if at the beginning you say that, yeah, a girl might run away, but then it also depends what kind of girl do you have.
Yeah, that's true. And listen, I'm with you on foundation. I think myself, working on myself now, 38 years old, I'm a lot more stronger than I've been for that foundation-wise. I got very clear on what I wanted. I wrote down very similar. I did a course on like what you're looking for in women, and it wasn't so casual. There's one guy who has it like, I remember I was on a call with him. He has it like down totally like characters. I wrote down actress, Latina, model, right? All this silly stuff, right? And that's what I found. I went to my brother's wedding, and the actress girl, we went and had a good time. But my whole point in saying that is like, I got in the point where it was like, no, that's not really what it is. It's not more. It's more of, because relationships are so hard, and I see so many entrepreneurs get divorced. I want to be the one, and I will be the one. I will be the one who does it right once, and that's all I do. Because I see it all the time. My most common denominator for my perfect client, my 50K clients, is they have multiple businesses, they exited the divorce. That's usually the same thing as the divorce, right? So I don't think I really try to do that, but it's a 50-50 shot where we're at. Especially in today's day and age, it's almost even tougher a lot of times because people think there's so many options out there, right? So what's your main reason of wanting to help people? Where does that come from?
That's a very good question, Jeff. And where did this come from? I was sharing with you at the beginning, right? I come from a place where I was going through a difficult time in my marriage, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't have the tools. I didn't know how to manage my frustration, my anger, my bitterness, my pointing the fingers. I didn't know how to do that because, see, when you're in a relationship, you want to make things work, right? That's why you're there. If you're in a relationship, especially women that tend to be more relational than men tending. Okay, so by nature, we're nurturing by nature, so you want the relationship to work, but then when you don't know how to make it work, you get so frustrated that then you get blindsided. And then the safety, remember, the safety mechanism, the defense mechanism kicks in. And now I go into the one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse in relationships. I go into stonewalling. It's like, I don't care. I don't want to care, but I do care, but I care so much that then what I do is I just put up the walls and I pretend that I don't, so that I will numb away the pain. Because I am connected with you, but if I cannot get to you, then I don't know how to do, because I didn't have the tools. So because I didn't have the tools, I ended up in a very, very sour place. And through that, I ended up leaving. I left you talk about a comfortable lifestyle. I left a man that had 18 cars on the garage, and most of them were very nice collectibles and other things. So I left a very comfortable lifestyle, but it was my desire, it was my heart crying out and in pain of, I don't know how to do this. And I looked for help everywhere, couldn't find it. And I ended up going through a sour divorce. Now, through that, I went on a journey. I landed at an event with Tony Robbins where I've been crying for 3 years. I started crying in 3 days. And I said, how come nobody told me that it was this easy to stop crying? And I went on a journey for a long time, just getting answers for me. And through that, I found so many practical tools that you can apply into your relationships, into your personal life, into your emotions, into your everything that you are, that changes how you view life, how you do life, how do you do loving yourself. So I realized that through all of that, there was no reason I should have signed a divorce that was unnecessary, but it was my lack of tools. It was my lack of understanding. So I say the number one reason for divorce, for couples ending their relationship, is ignorance. We can say it's a lot of things, right? It's the money, it's somebody else, it was a Lambo, is this, is that we don't know how to communicate our needs, is we don't know how to establish relationship, is we don't know how to do relationships in a healthy way where I can come, be open and flourish and let my best come out and love you the way that we both want to be loved, and the way that we both want to be cherished. So why do I do it? Because I believe that nobody should go through that. And the reason we do it is because we don't have the tools. It's because we don't know how. So I've dedicated my time to get the tools. I've spent zeros and zeros and zeros and zeros and zeros into getting to that place. And I said that somebody said, hey, I will only take relationship advice from somebody that has been a long time married, right? And I get you. But you know what? Couples started knocking on my door. Even as a divorcee, I didn't say no. And they kept referring people because what I learned works. And I am not in a relationship because I am looking for somebody that I can plug right in, but I'm done with making the mistakes of just going superficial level, right? Level one, hey, I just want to hook up. Hey, I just want to feel good. No, I'm looking for somebody because I'm freaking happy and I want to expand my happiness, but not because I need somebody to fill my void.
Yeah, I mean, I think for all consultants that become consultants or anybody who wants to help, it comes to a point that where they get hurt at a time, they don't want anybody to go through it, right? Like, I lost a ton of money in ads. Don't spend ads this way, right? I know what it is, right? It's a hurt thing. No, don't do it. I have no ill intent for the guy today who I had a call with him before, trying to do ads for an event. I'm like, no, don't do that. So I think that's the genuine nature of us all human, even in the world going crazy with everything going on and ending and the Lord coming back. We are now, we generally still care. There's still some goodness out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So 100%, I do think, I love your will to help and everything. So what are like one of the tools that help? Let's say I'm in a fight with somebody. All right, so I have this girl coming to visit to the Empower Her Money event, November 4th. Angela of Empower Her Money. Her name's Jasenia. She bought a ticket. She never bought anything in personal growth before. She's the actress girl that everybody buys her, flies her out for everything, right? This is her. She's a big-time influencer. She's going to take me around Miami the whole time. She's already set it up on there. It's Halloween, whatever, right? So she's coming to the event, right? She, my point in saying this is, what's the one thing that, like, when someone, let's say the worst case scenario happens, which is why I don't want to get ready to be in a fight. Exactly what you said. There's bitterness. The girl waving the finger at me, etc. All that Latina attitude I find is cute. It's not cute when they shut it down and they say, don't talk to me, I don't want to hear it, right? Drives me the freaking nuts, okay? Happens a lot. So I don't want to be there. What's the best thing as a man I can do in that situation? Women's frustrated. We don't understand. We're fast forward, right? What's the best tool I can use right there?
Well, I'll give you the tool, but I'll give you a background on it because it's going to make sense. Okay. What's the number one thing? What would you say is the number one thing that a woman wants from you?
There's the 5 needs. Usually it's time, quality time.
Okay. Well, those are your 5 love languages, but I'll tell you the one need that in general, and we're talking general, right? But the feminine energy, what cries from the masculine, is your strength. It's your power. So when you say what happens if you start shaking the finger or getting aggravated or just start yapping or nagging or whatever the case may be, show up powerfully. Show up powerfully for her. That doesn't mean you are undermining her. That doesn't mean you are overpowering. That means you stand your ground. And that doesn't mean, again, you're not going to fight. You're going to stand your ground and you are going to get grounded and you are going to take charge of the situation, not her. Nobody likes to be controlled, but of the situation. And you grab her, you let her, without you going into her rabbit hole, you stand your ground, you let her finish saying whatever it is, right? And you look at her in the eye. You get close to her without being aggressive or antagonistic. You look at her and you see in her eyes, because women need to be seen. You see her and you say, come here. And I just hug her. Let a moment of silence and then say, what's really going on? And you see how that changes. You tell me, how that changes. Because the minute that you start into the back of the back and forth, it's like you get opposite sides of the table and you're fighting. And the defense mechanism, believe me, is your reptile brain that is always going to kick because it's our parasympathetic system. It's I fight or flee. So I'm going to fight you because I'm feeling attacked. So I'm going to fight because we're not proactive. We're reactive because we haven't set ground foundations for our relationships. So we start doing that and then it doesn't turn out good. But I want to prove to you that I am right. Well, I want to prove to you that I am right. And so we're in this fight, in this constant fight, where our need to be right supersedes our need to be connected. So now you're in this, right? So you want to get out of that, then you simply take the high route and you say, hey, this is, you start setting standards. This is not acceptable, but you're not demanding from them to behave in a way that is acceptable. You're showing. You're taking the charge, you're taking the lead, especially as a powerful man as you are, right? And you say, okay, what's happening? What's happening? And you see the feminine felt when there's the masculine that shows up in power. There's a book by John Eldridge that I recommend you to read. It's called, This is for Men. It's called Wild at Heart. And and women, ladies, I recommend you reading it for your man, understanding what goes in the life of a man and the masculine energy and how it plays, because nowadays we're so into competition, right? And the feminists, and I don't need you. No, we need you. You don't create a baby for one person. If we didn't need each other, procreation would be just a natural thing, like we do breathing or we do eating. No, we need each other, and that's a God design. So let's learn what is the dance of the energies. What is it that you provide as a man into your masculine energy when you're grounded? Because then I mean, we can go here for hours, but I'm just going to touch this and give it back to you. We go into women going into their masculine, and we go men going into their feminine, and then it works because there's polarity. If you have a masculine man and a masculine woman, it's not going to work. If you have a feminine woman with a feminine man, they're going to become best friends, but there's not going to be polarity. And when you have a masculine woman with a feminine man, it works for a time. But guess what? You as a man are going to resent her because she's controlling, she's overpowering, she's charging, and you're going to feel this big. And if you're a woman with a strong woman and in your masculine, because that doesn't, as a strong, you don't need to be in your masculine. I'm a very strong woman, but I am a retired tomboy. So, but as a woman, if you are strong and you're with a man in his feminine, you're going to resent him because he's not stepping up, because he's not going for you, because he's not going to bat. And you end up even climbing more on those masculine energy because somebody needs to take charge. So you do it, but the problem is now you resent them. You resent him. You're making more than him. You're making decisions. You're bringing more to the table. You're bringing more bacon. Whatever it is, it doesn't work. So it works when you step into your masculine as a man and the feminine, which is part of what I do. I teach women how to reclaim their feminine essence, and because that's when relationships work. But when I am defending constantly and saying, I don't need you, I'll show you, don't get the door from me, I can do it, I can pay my own, I can do, it's a very masculine energy. So men don't want to have another man, especially if you're a strong man. You don't want to have another man. You come into the feminine because that's again, longer discussion, but God design.
No, that was actually very good. We should clip that up. The way you explain that, so I'll tell a story because you told something that exactly. I was going to say, let's practice it out, right? We're in a fight and act it out. Maybe we'll do it later on. Maybe we'll do it at the event. Because, although we can't practice that hugging and being that, but you're right about taking a leadership role. I'm writing out a book. It's called Self-Discipline and Self-Respect. It's the same sort of story. I haven't written this part, but I'll tell it. Very simply, I don't resent. The only thing I can only get better is myself. Even with that lady, whether it's the person, there was a point in the thing when she asked if we want to go to Chipotle or another restaurant. And I was so enamored in love, and she had so much, whatever the deal was, so much pull over, which any guys have been there. And women know when they're doing whatever, and the guy's like catering to every need because they're falling, right? She was getting me to fall. And I said, I don't care, wherever you want. And she looked at me and she said, I need you to make a decision. I need you to take the lead. John, well, I don't want to say the guy's name, but whatever. The other guy, who she didn't want to go out with, supposedly, whatever. And I don't think she really did. I think there's more security, but I do think he exerts more leadership in a way. Didn't check off all the boxes, but he exerted this point. At the end of the day, that's why she's with him. He exerted that more than me. Not just in that moment. I know it's a simple moment, but other moments then. Women are smarter than men. They see more. They can multitask more. And she was witnessing everything I was doing with my business and everything, right? And she was very impressed by my business, very impressed by that. There was definitely, I'm not going to say, listen, I think she's still a fan of me. I'll give it that way. But me as I didn't exude my masculinity with her. I didn't say, no, we don't do this. I didn't say, no, you're not bringing another guy here when I'm here. I didn't let down the roles. So because of that, I lost the self-discipline that I held for myself so thin because I was rooming with her. I totally violated all my core values and principles because I didn't want this whole thing. When what I really wanted, if I led with that, definitely we'd be having a different discussion today. So, but I know that, and I have to live with that, and it sucks. And whether I can paint her as this materialistic girl that just wants nice things, listen, every woman wants nice things, right? Yeah. It's more my fault than anything else. It's not anything there. And me living that haunts me so much, and I just don't want to screw that up the next time the next girl I was with. Yeah. I'll admit, I went on a date not too long ago. Girl wanted to be, I picked where it was. So I'm practicing out these things that you're teaching right here. And the biggest thing that you do that's very well, women need, and maybe you could help out the girl coming to visit, because she was all into very woke feminism, women movement, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, she's a woman just at heart. She wants a man who takes the leadership and takes the role. Yeah. Even recently, she just kind of broke up. Me and her are friends or whatever we are, kind of in the point. I talked to her about that. And there were certain times when I heard it wasn't going that way. And she's now, 38. She's ready to submit. She wants to get married 100%, right? And we're at a big waking point. There's a lot of, because of what we've indoctrinated with the things, there's a lot of 38 women who are waking up being like, man, I want to have kids and have married. So speak to that. Speak to the women now who's maybe that 38 boss girl, I don't need a man, right, type deal. Because there's a little bit out there. I want to be my best life. And you said you helped them regain their feminine energy. What would you do for, talk to one of those, boss babes?
Well, it's a boss babe, like it. It's it's a process. It's not something that you said, because usually it's like you're trying to convince a narcissist that they shouldn't be narcissists, right? It's just like, what are you talking about? So women don't necessarily see it, but it's when you start. Its point is showing them the mirror of the true self, of what they've been missing. Because I'll tell you why, for a woman to become step into her masculine is because it was a process. There was an absent father and she needed to take the reign. There was a husband or a guy or a man that wouldn't show up, so she did. There were children that needed to be fed and nobody else around came, and she stepped into it, right? Or so many other reasons. But it's you become it, right? The way the original design is when God created us, he put the feminine, he put the masculine. Because question here, I mean, we can go into theology, but that's another conversation for another day. But so I'll leave it at that. But the point of it is, it happened for me because I didn't even know I was so masculine. I had people come in and tell me. I had one of my boyfriends told me, Soraya, you're such a Jezebel, right? And I was like, what are you talking about?
You're what? Wait, say it again.
A Jezebel. You know how there was this queen, and the Bible talks about this queen that was very in her masculine, overruling the king. And she was the queen, and everybody was afraid of her, right? So he was telling me that I was that. I was like, what are you talking? But I said, you know what? That's what I learned. That's what I learned at home. My dad left when I was very young. I don't even remember having a father at home. And when I was about 5 or 6 or 7, and my dad would come pick us up, I started noticing that he would favor my brother. And And I was like, but my older brother was like, but what's different about my brother and me? Until at 6, 7, I made a decision that what I needed to be, guess what? Who I needed to be for my dad to be accepted, because that's what we want, right? To be part, to belong, to be loved. Who I needed to be. I needed to be a boy. So that day, I asked my mom to cut my hair, and I ditched the dresses, and I started playing with my cousins and my brother and climbing trees and playing marbles and cars and kicking balls and everything, because I wanted to identify with something that my father would love me. And on went my story. I had keys to my house when I was 11 years old. I came in and out. So I grew up not needing necessarily many things. I want them, but I can survive without them. But then when we take them into our relationships, is I don't need you, I push you away, and then we're expecting for okay, let's talk as a feminine, right? I'm expecting you to come and do things for me, but I'm not letting you. So you're doing this number. Okay, come here. Wait a minute. Why are you crossing the bar? But why don't you come? But you're not coming. But why are you crossing? Right? So it's like a man doesn't really have a chance to win if you're in those shoes, because as much as you're wanting to show him and prove, you don't need to prove to anybody, but you're surviving and you're saying, I can handle this. If a man is not here, I'm not going to die. But then when the right man comes in and you're pushing him away because you feel threatened, your feminism, which is not, it's just the desire to be, again, it's the dance of the roles of how it's beautifully and amazingly designed. So what I would do, long answer to that question, is start showing, because that's what my mentor did with me. She saw something in me. She saw how I was doing life, that she very nicely welcomed me in, reeled me in. And without noticing, I started taking steps into me reclaiming my feminine essence. And so, and when I work with women, I work in a workshop. It's like, okay, let's come as powerful women, and then I show them, but in a way that is, it's like under the skin, where it's not confrontational and say, you better stop doing that, because there's no need, right? There's no need. I feel safe being like this. I control. I don't think things don't get out of my control. I don't get hurt. Yeah, because I have this guard up that is not allowing me to really connect and be loved. And a connection requires, I mean, love requires connection. But if I have the guards, I'm not gonna let anybody do it. So yeah, I'll have a kid because I can control it, right? It's nowadays, it's socially acceptable, it's socially doable. I can even hire somebody to have a kid for me, and then I'll raise them because I am in control. But that doesn't bring you happiness. That is, that you can do it, that's doable, but that's not sustainable for your overall satisfaction and fulfillment.
Yeah, no, that's really good. By the way, I love how you talk, because you talk kind of like me, very long answers. But I cut people off. I'm horrible at it, very disrespectful. I'm practicing not doing it, but I always do it to monitor. So me and my brother just did the launch of the J&J podcast. Me and my brother done a podcast for a while. Angela, who's topping the charts for her podcast, I want to test some stuff before I waste money on my client. So I'm going to do it with me and my brother, right? So we did a podcast. But I practice not interrupting people, and it's very hard for me. So with that said, I want to say, by the way, I want to read what Triple Threat Steph, maybe we'll bring her on next week. So we're going to do this single Saturday, I'm going to call it, okay? Relationship advice. People come in, submit your questions with Soraya. Where can they find more about you? She has a great ClickFunnels site. What's the site? It's phenomenal. It's perfectly done. I couldn't tell. As a market seller, it's great. It just needs more traffic. So go visit the darn site. What's the site?
SaveMyMarriage.us.
SaveMyMarriage.us. Which honestly, breaks my heart, knowing that you weren't able to save your marriage. So now you've helped the testimony videos. I went and watched all your testimony videos. Go watch that. Skip down, go watch the testimonies of people, of the lives that were changed, impacted by that, by you figuring it out and doing it. And God's called you to do this. It's amazing. All right. So SaveMyMarriage.com, is that what it is?
SaveMyMarriage.us. US.
Okay. SaveMyMarriage.us. 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 You got to promote a lot, right? All right. So, in the same question, I want to ask this. This is kind of tipping it off, but this is a good thing. Horoscope signs, right? Virgo, things. I'm a Gemini. What's your sign?
I'm from December.
Okay. I'm not a big thing of it.
Yeah.
I'm really not. I'm not an expert. I don't know, as a Christian, I don't know if it's all New Agey or not, right? But people say that stuff. But Pastor Ben David, my mentor, okay, talked about trends, right? There's trends and different stuff and compatible, all right? I, guilty as charged, listen, I'm as safe as can be, okay? So please, I had people get really mad at me about this. I'll go look up, are Geminis and Geminis compatible? I'll look up at that. Do you take, and you go ahead.
No. Finish your sentence because I'm not going to interrupt you, but I do have something to say about it.
No, interrupt me. I like it.
Well,
I've interrupted you. Go ahead.
Right. I'll tell you, I happen not to believe on that because you can have perfect twins that are entirely different. And they're Gemini, Capricorn, Taurus, whatever it is. They're different. It's not ruled by where you landed. It is ruled by so many other things. My mom and I are 4 days apart on our birthday. We're as opposite as can be. It has nothing to do. It has to do with your upbringing. It has to do with your temperament. It has to be with your values. It has to do with your experience of life. I mean, you put all that in the blender and you mix it. You serve it. That's you today. You're a type A personality. You're choleric, what I call in my world of temperaments, a lion. So it doesn't have to be, if you have a lion, which is at the opposite side of the spectrum, which is a koala or a phlegmatic, you're going to chew her on or not necessarily. And she can be born the same day as you. It has nothing to do with it.
Very good, because I can't figure out horoscopes. So instead of horoscopes, there's a lot of them. You can take four principles and put people in kind of almost like the DISC test type deal.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So for example, I'll tell you, and that's true. This is a true statement. Everything I say is true, by the way, but this is to zoom in. Tony Robbins says 80% of your success in relationships is who you choose. I'll tell you, the couples that I find most challenged when they come to me has to do with their temperaments, the combinations of the temperaments, because, and this is very superficially explained, but this is a theory that goes back 2,000 years, right? So with Homer, I think it was. Okay. Anyways, he came up with anyways, I don't remember who it was, but he came up with these 4 ways of cataloging people. There's people that say it's even 54 archetypes. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go with the 4 basic. Extroverts and introverts, we're not the same, right? So if you split extrovert, that's 2 already. But if you split them in half, then you have 4, which are cholerics, which are sanguines, which are phlegmatics, and which are melancholics, right? So in this chart, in this quadrant, if you have opposites, you're going to drive each other crazy because you're so different. You're saying it. I like to cut people off. Why? Because you're direct, because you're practical, you're very pragmatic, you like things fast, quick, done. You do a lot. You're a doer. But you see, who's the opposite side? The melancholic, who is an introvert, that is a perfectionist, that is an analyst, that likes to have everything square before an inched in and millimetrically measured things before they go do anything. You get with somebody like that, you're going to kill them. They're going to feel this small.
Yeah, that's one of my business partners, June at Viral Alchemy. We're rebranding a new YouTube channel, everything. If you need anything to go viral, the guy's a genius because he's so meticulous. All the time, he makes you shoot our content all the time. But I love him. I love June. I think he's hilarious. So I get that. So, okay, so does it matter, like, can extroverts marry extroverts or no? Like, is that?
Yes, but I'm telling you, there's people that you work better with. And I'm telling you, when I have couples, I see that because they say, she takes or I have a couple right now. She says, he won't take risks. She wants to have another baby. They already have one. She wants to have another baby. She wants to even move to another country because it's better financially. She wants to do all this. She's a lion. She's married to an owl. And the owl is saying, oh no, wait a minute. We need to first figure out these things. No, I can do it. And he's a man and he's a provider, right? No, I need to make sure all dogs are aligned in a row.
Yeah, so not to cut you off, but I put that all on DISC. So I do consulting for companies, and we put people in 4 quadrants. I used to hate it because nobody puts me in a box. I'm a high I in that thing, right? But 100%, I am more the extroverted type I, whatever you want to say. That's me. Okay, cool. I'm whatever Trump has and JFK has, I have that. I believe I can be president of the United States. I'm going to go for it. Cool, right? I don't care if I spell stuff wrong. We'll figure it out, right? Trump, Miss Tweety, right? So my point in saying that is I get there's tendencies to that stuff. One of the things is like, so I'm American, I'm a white guy, whatever, gringo, right? I remember my older boss mentor, JC Donnie, multimillionaire, said, hey, I just want to learn from you. His wife, he was full Italian blood. I don't know if they got in a fight or whatever happened. He got mad, the customer. She gets worried about him getting mad. She's, Jeff, I swear, this is what she said. She's like, full blood, full Brazilians, full Italians, they get full all the anger. She's like, they're like fully in. She's like, there's no talking them down. And I kind of thought about that, and I noticed ever since she said that, and I've noticed certain people who got very passionate, they're like fully that. So I don't know if that's a tendency, but like one of I think it was Lewis House. You know Lewis House?
Uh-huh.
So he said emotionally mastery, and it was on a podcast with probably some other relationship expert like you. And he would say emotionally mastery is the one, if you could master anything in life, emotionally mastery is the one thing. And I'm getting so much better at it, so much better. But like I literally how I built my personal brand was by using this as an emotional outlet. The hardest thing for me right now is all the consulting and copy and how to get song thing and how to event, all the marketing. I could put all that. It's boring to me to put that out. That's what I do for work. So we're going to do that, right? We're going to go Hormozy style and like a different thing. Mm-hmm. But it's the emotional mastery. So what's one way that, and maybe it's different for men or women or different temperaments, and you said the upbringing, right? You don't have a dad, you don't see anything, or you have a dad who gets mad and does it. You act whatever you're around, right?
Yeah.
So what's one thing to kind of test your temperament and know where your emotional mastery is to kind of, to reflect it, to go clearly into relationships?
Well, you get to see, look at the mirror, look at what you prefer more, right? And it's, okay, what would bring the best out of me? And I know that I am going to be yielding, because it's not about this is who I am and you just get to be 2 blocks. No, it's like who can bring out the best out of me? And you see, okay, if I'm an introvert, well, maybe an extrovert. I need an extrovert. I want an extrovert. Do I want to go out, but I don't dare? You know, I want to travel. I want to do things. And I sometimes tend to be in the back, where I'm a phlegmatic, and I tend to be the doormat of everybody, right? So it's like, okay, who do I need? And open up yourself to that possibility, knowing that you want to grow, because that's a key component. Growth. We just say, this is who I am and I'm not changing. Well, great. Are you going to stay like that the rest of your life? No, who is going to complement me the best? Okay. So for me, so I know I'm so clear on who I need. So if you're an extrovert and you say, you know what, I just simply want to go and travel the world, well, then you need another extrovert, right? Most likely, because it's going to say, heck yes. If you want to have fun in your life, you need a monkey, you need somebody a sanguine. If you want things organized, you know, by nature, then you pick that. But it's what do you want at the end of the day? So look at the mirror and say, what do I want? What do I want to create? What do I, you know, it's like in your team. You're saying, I need somebody to run my business. You're not going to put a monkey that is going from branch to branch outside. You're a lion monkey, right? You're not going to put you in charge of all the details, but you bring people because it's the dream team and you want to have different areas. So in a partner is who's going to bring me, and I have a chart that I can share on that of what temperaments complement each other and which ones drive each other nuts.
That's good. So listen, by the way, you're amazing. Like, I really do think you're amazing. I wouldn't come on and share all my time if you weren't. You've done a lot of work. Tim Storey, do you know what Tim Storey is?
I'm familiar with him.
Yeah, he said something to me once. He said something like, "You're like inches away, right?" And it was such a cool moment, and that was before everything blew up, right? He believed in me, right? So the big thing I want to say is, like, you're with emotional mastery and kind of stepping off that. The way you explain it, how did you become such an expert at all this stuff? Like you have the chart, the wheel, you have the site. But like, what is it that you actually say to these people? I guess it's all case by case scenario. But like some of the testimony videos I saw of you talking to these couples, right? And is it like scary to go there and talk to couples? Like, that's got to be like kind of a rage thing when they're. I watched a hypnotist. I was out in Miami. This kid, I won't give his name because I don't know if he's like, I don't abide by everything he does. They went out to see a hypnotist, right? I'm not against any of that stuff. And he brought up this husband and wife and about the relationship. And he basically said, and they're like, we're not happy. He cheated on her. But they tried to stay together. And they processed the whole issue in front of everybody, right? Extremely entertaining. But I kind of thought, like, holy cow, I don't know if he was the best person to really do it, right? I think you would have been, after watching, I thought of that couple. I thought, oh, you'd be better. And it was so sad because you could tell the guy really felt remorse. You could tell she really loved him. And it was a really sad situation. And you could tell he felt really bad and she didn't truly forgive him. And I don't know how to help about that. Like my heart, like I'm feeling the whole, like I just don't even want to be in that situation or put anybody in that situation. So my whole point in saying that, see, I get very empathic, right? Is how do you go into these situations where this husband and wife's on the brink of divorce, and like how that's got to be tough, no?
Well, I'll tell you what, because many people ask me this, right? I work with survivors of human trafficking and I help them resolve things. But every one of us has a talent, a gift. My gift is, which I discovered when I became a coach, is I have an ability to see where people are. I see you, I read you, I know you. Before you meet me, I already know you. Two seconds talking to you, I already know you. You don't need to say anything. I know you. I know pretty much, 60 to 80%, I know what you want. I know what you're hurting. I know what you're craving. I know where your pitfalls are. I already know. So when I come with a couple, I already see that. And to me, it's just this ability that I have to see people where they are and where they're stuck. And then part of that ability, it's an art. I've done the science part of that because I study every day for the past 9 years. So I have a lot of that under my belt. But then the art part of it is I am able to see where somebody is stuck, and I am able to walk them in a way where they don't even notice it, where they don't even, I mean, they're aware, but where it's not, there's no resistance, when I work with people. So I've had couples that are really already split. She's living elsewhere, right? And I talk to them even in a way to get them to want to work together in a program where I changed their marriage in 3 days. We go from divorce to love each other in 3 days. So that is the process. So for me, it's my art. Like you put Mariah Carey and you give her a mic, she has a fascinating art just with her voice, right? Or other people. Everybody has a talent. That's my superpower, is to see where people are stuck and help them unravel. And with the science behind it, I help them walk that bridge, the uncomfortable bridge, but take them where they want.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, listen, I know what you do. Where do we find you again? Wait, hang on. Tell me.
Coach
Save My Marriage.
My website is coachsoraya.com, but the one that you're referring to is savemymarriage.us.
We got Lucas on here. Lucas is the Inner Circle guy. He's part of my Inner Circle. He's built this he'll get to the next 100K month and he'll speak at my conference if he hits it. We're doing that. But what else? And by the way, we got a great comment by, how do you say, Sherry. It's abide in me and I in you. I am the branch. So it's this, as the branch cannot bear fruit unless it abides in the vine, neither can you. Unless you abide in me, we grow as we go deeper, relationships with God. And it's funny, I was just at VU Church and I was at Men's Fellowship, and they talked an acronym for men. Is men, it's crazy. We need to be, and it's funny, as an acronym, M was, we need to be meek, and meek in a way where like to the Lord, and really goes to that is the way it is. And then we need to be accountable to what we're called to do as men, okay? And then we're needed. Strong men are needed. And Pastor Rich said something very important. He said, I don't think the prescription was wrong, or I don't think the diagnosis was wrong, that we needed masculine. The prescription is wrong. So all these guys going out and flexing the Andrew Tate, nothing against Andrew Tate. I love Andrew Tate, honestly. I know people get mad at me about that, but I do like Andrew Tate, right? But the prescription, the Wes Watson, all these guys, of just overexerting it, yes, there's that needed to a point, but it's more just exactly what you said, kind of bringing it full circle of a guy being the leader in the house when he comes in, what God called them to be. When the woman's going crazy, okay? You women do go crazy, okay? You gotta say, hey, stop being crazy. I love you. We're here. What do you need? What's the deal? And really be there for them. And that's why. Oh, this is the other question I want to ask. And we'll go. We're ending now. Single Saturdays. Love the time with you. Thank you for your time. I know your time is very valuable. Okay.
Thank
you. I appreciate this as well. And hopefully we can cut. We had such a busy week. We didn't cut up any last week. So maybe we can do something. I think I'm gonna post this to YouTube. This one. And I'm going to put it, do you know the Captions app?
No.
Okay. So if you don't know this, I own a video editing company. I could upsell you and say, do the video edit. We have everybody use an iPhone. Do you have an iPhone?
Yes.
So with the Captions app, it's like $64. Okay. This is a marketing tip. Okay. I should probably do it in a marketing video. Okay. You can download it. You can upload this video. I'm going to do it. I'll upload it to my YouTube channel, although someone might get mad because they're doing my YouTube SEO, but I do whatever I want, right? I'm going to upload this video because hopefully it will hit somebody with some things you said, and you didn't already too. And we'll link down your website below. And hopefully we'll see you. Hopefully you win, even if you don't win. I know you have your thing on Tony. Hopefully I'll see you in person. You know,
yeah.
Relax out. But what was I going to say? I wanted to show you something too as well. Let me see if I can find it in here. Oh yeah, here it is. I'll show this in a second. I'll end it with this. That's the dramatic pause. When you do the dramatic pause, everything you freeze. Captions app, you put it up, you do AI shorts, it then all of a sudden takes anything viral. It searches it already online, it cuts it up with all those captions, especially if it's a 2x2, then we can repurpose it. So I asked Nathaniel to do it, but we got busy. We're actually helping out Angela. All hands on deck to put on an event. God almighty, I'm going to put on an event, but man, now I know exactly the right way to market it too, by a lot of events. Okay, so that was me just saying to marketing. Download Captions app, repurpose content. It's very well done in a way too. So five love languages. Let me just ask you, what are your five? Is that true, by the way, the five love languages?
Yeah.
Okay. Next week on Single Saturday, I'm going to release what my mentor taught me, the 9 love languages of entrepreneurs. Okay. We'll go over that. It's actually pretty cool. But it's very similar, right? And you just took it and expanded upon it because entrepreneurs are a little bit crazier, even crazier than women, right? So, and I say that in a good way. By the way, I only like crazy people. I don't like boring people, all right? So when I say crazy, I know people who are going to want to do it. It's a good thing, okay? So my thing in saying that is what's 5 languages? What are yours? What are your 5? Are you one of those Latina ladies that I'm all 5?
No, I'll tell you my top 2, which is really what we all go by because we all like things. I like gifts, everybody, right? But gifts is my last one, interestingly enough. But my top 2 is quality time and touch.
Quality time and touch. Okay, yeah. So I'll have to remember quality time and touch. All right, good, yeah. Because mine is words of affirmations, 100%. People can never pay me for a consulting call, and if they said, Jeff, this changed my life, by the way, I can't run a business that way anymore. I have people to pay, actually, so I can't do it that way anymore. I have a whole VA team, but if I could, I would. If I could be paid on top of that. And then words of affirmation and physical touch. Those are my 2. Well, the reason why I say it is because next Saturday, this at the event, this girl bought a ticket to her first Growth-Minded ticket, and I'm gonna play. Let's see if let me put up the view. So this here. Here's living hell in me. She's coming here to go around Miami. This was here. Let's put the value.
We need to talk, brother.
Yeah, 100%. It doesn't really scare me, actually. I'm looking forward to it.
I had the most amazing fun with this.
So this is the channel when I started doing brands.
Okay.
I don't know if we did. All right. So we put up that teaser video. That was the wedding date. We'll tell that story next week.
Okay.
She might be live on Single Saturday with us. But that's going to be next Saturday, 10 a.m. And we'll see. We'll see how that goes. She's definitely growing. So we're all growing, right?
Yeah.
So what I want to do, brand you as the relationship expert. You've become so much valuable. So follow her. So it's Coach. What's your personal site?
My site, Coach Soraya, Soraya. If you scroll right here on my Instagram, it's right there. And link in the bio, it's right there. The website, CoachSoraya.com, and Save My Marriage. That's
That's the funnel one, right? Yeah. Okay, good. I'm gonna go to. I didn't go to CoachSoraya.com. I went to Save My Marriage. And it broke my heart because I was like, man, I hope. Oh, look at this. This is actually a pretty good site. Let's check you out right here. So meet Soraya. How do you say your last name?
Autana.
Autana. Is that your last name?
That's my name.
Okay, all right. Because there's a big thing with one of my clients, Angela. She just went over that. Oh, this is you. Let's watch you right here. You do such a good job. Look at you.
Hi, this is Soraya, and I want to welcome you to this website. This is a place where you can find solutions for whatever might be going on in your life. Maybe there's something going on relationally or psychologically or emotionally, or there's something that you personally have not been able to deal with. Together, there are answers. Maybe you are going through a difficult time, turmoil in your life, in your relationships, in your family. It doesn't matter what you're going through. There is a new level that you can go to. And together we can create a new definition for you, a new life for you, a new story. It is time to let go from all the stories that have not served you so far. It's time to get out the skeletons in the closet, the spider webs, whatever is not working in your life, and let's turn that around. So you can look around, listen to the testimonials, hear the stories of people that just like you one day felt like life was not going the way they wanted, and they made a decision to have a conversation with me, and their life changed. Welcome to this place, and I'm inviting you to design a life that you love.
So yeah, you're a life changer. You really are. I mean, go check out Save My Marriage on us. I'm looking at everything. Good job. Listen, I know. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this here. I'm so, like, I know where you're at. And by the way, it's so hard to build all this stuff. So, like, my part of what I can add in is, it's hard too. They're both parts that you need both. You need the top of the funnel lead flow.
Hi.
But
My
this
name is Joanne Jones.
I don't even know. This is one
I
of the
wanted to talk
testimonies.
to you a little bit today about my experience with Soraya.
I don't know where this one's playing.
I met her a couple
Right
of years
below.
ago when I was going through a difficult time in my life, and
Anyway,
I started coaching.
so
with
listen,
her.
you're
And,
amazing. Do you have an
really
executive
helped
assistant
me
or no?
I'm sorry?
through.
Do you have an executive assistant?
Do I have an executive assistant? Not yet.
All right. Well, we'll get you one. All right. So I'll be your executive assistant. If anybody wants to talk to her, go through me. I'm serious. I'm not even joking. I literally, whatever we have to do to bring her over the finish line, God's calling for everything. Can I pray on the end of this? Is that okay? All right,
Absolutely.
all right, dear Father, Lord, you know why you put Soraya in my life and so many other people's lives. You know why you put her through there, Lord. Thank you for all the personal development, all the how much she's harvested, so much of the skills that she's done to go help and impact other people, Lord. Lord, I see her, I feel her heart, Lord, but I know you see her, Lord. And Lord, I pray, Lord, that you guide her to the next person that needs to hear a message, Lord. Here I'm so blessed. I'm like, you know what? Saturdays at 10 a.m., I just read out my dreams. Why don't I live out my dreams with somebody and maybe not get divorced in the way? So I brought her into my life, Lord, because of that reason, because of someone she could impact, Lord. So, Lord, let me be a connector as you've given me for Soraya, going forward with everything she does and as she changes lives, and do it to honor you. I pray this in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right, perfect. I just prayed. That's what I've done now. We're in time. Thank you so much. I'll see you next Saturday at 10 a.m. Dial in if you have any questions you need for anything going forward, all right?
Okay.
All right. Well,
Thank you guys for being here, and go design a life and relationship that you love.
love it.